Welcome back to DPRK Athletics. My name is Yong and today we are going to start off things a little bit differently because we are starting at the match the prior day between the Republic of Korea and the hosts of Australia. It should be a really exciting matchup because this matchup will basically determine who comes out of this group, and it may determine who the DPRK will be facing in the quarterfinal. Now, I want to remind you that if you just want to know about the DPRK match, you can head down to the timestamp on this video and head to the part about the DPRK match. Besides that, if you want to know just about this match and the journey to getting to the DPRK match tomorrow, stay tuned. It should be exciting. As soon as I got here, which was about 4 hours in advance, rain just started pouring down on Olympic Park. I wanted to wait it out as much as possible because I knew it was about to end in an hour. So I went and had a little bit of chicken. So go ahead and watch the chicken review. So I am here at Broaster Chicken at Olympic Park here in Sydney. It's a franchise that you can kind of operate in lots of different places in Australia. Basically fried chicken. We've also got quesadillas and empanadas and things like that. But trying it out. And ooh, this fry is good. Got that perfect amount of crisp, not too much seasoning, and it's so hot and fresh. You know, they really do it well here. I'm sure it's a franchise, so it can vary by location, but the location here at Olympic Park, very good. I want to dip this in gravy. Now, I'm not used to dipping fries in gravy, but they had a variety of sauces. Gravy was the number one, so I'm like, I'll go with that. And you know, that strangely works. That strangely works. So yeah, I mean, this is a lot more delicious than expected. You know, chicken and chips type of thing is a very kind of a British Commonwealth type of thing, and they do it really well out here. And woo, it is windy. What if my camera falls over? That would be crazy, eh? Dip this chicken tender in gravy. Ooh, that's juicy. I'll try it without the gravy. You know, it's not too dry, it's not too juicy. It's just how I like it. The seasoning is very mild. It's a little bit on the salty side, but I think it's a very like good for its area. Like, this feels like a real Australian meal, real Commonwealth meal, you know, the former British Empire. So yeah, this is about as good as it can get. Chicken tenders are not my favorite, so it's only gonna get a 9, but this is definitely up there. This is a great snack / meal before the game, so I'm gonna have to walk it off, but 2 big thumbs up to Broaster Chicken. So now that the chicken review is over, we have plenty of time before the match, so I will be heading to Bay Marker Wentworth Point to just kind of see some of the beauty that the Olympic Park here has, and I will check back with you there. So we are heading up the Bay Marker at Wentworth Point. It really is just some amazing nature around the Accor Old Olympic Stadium. There was a brick pit, I'd have to look that up. And then there was just like a lot of nature and parks. But what was really remarkable and what I came here for is this round mound. But this appears to be some sort of bay marker, but I'm not sure. I mean, obviously the rain has been going crazy, so no one's here. So I am just rolling up this large thing. I think you have to walk up in a circular fashion, which I'm doing so, and we'll see you at the top. And we've reached the summit. From here, you can see a lot of Sydney, but a lot of it you cannot see because it is covered in clouds. However, I can confirm that conditions are very tough, and they will be very tough for the Republic of Korea and the Australian women's national football team as they collide in here about 90 minutes. Anyway, I'm a little bit far from the stadium, so I better head back and actually watch some football instead of messing around here in the cold rain. We'll see you there. The sky is clearing up, the fans are heading in, and it is looking like a perfect day for football. So I have entered the stadium, and the gentleman who checked my bag said that I must watch the new Jujutsu Kaisen because I have Miku on my backpack. It's a new anime, gotta watch it, he said. I'm like, all right. Anyway, we are heading up this very interesting spiral ramp to the high seats. I hope they sell beer up there. Okay, so I got a Han Super Dry, but this time on tap. So hopefully it'll be good, and it'll be a nice relief after all like 4 hours of rain. Not a really big fan. That tasted like absolutely nothing. But you know, it's beer, so it'll do. Let's get to the seat. So how about this view? This is crazy compared to the first two matches, right? So you can see there's just a fantastic view of the entire stadium you have way up here in the nosebleeds. So for this match, I chose a section that would deliberately be cheap and sparsely populated. Didn't want to splash the cash for not a DPRK match. So, you know, just to kind of be out of the way, be able to vlog a bit and kind of just relax and watch the game and kind of feel the atmosphere more than anything else. So I'm really looking forward to kickoff. Now, I cheer for DPRK. Do I cheer for ROK? Not so much. I don't know. I kind of view it in the same way as like, would an Austrian cheer for a German team? Or would a Canadian cheer for a US team? Or would a New Zealand team cheer for an Australia team? Sure, they're the same. I mean, would a DDR citizen, a East German, even cheer for a West German team? Kinda, but not really. You know, I think I'm kind of happy when Korea wins anything, but not to the extent that I am a full-fledged supporter. I'm more so a DPRK supporter. So in any case, I'm really just here to feel the atmosphere because I know at the end of the day, both of these teams are the rivals of my favorite team and the team I follow and hold so dearly, the DPRK. I got this lime and lemon drink as well. It's only like 94 calories, so it's actually way better than beer. Well, not way better, but at least a little bit better. And it goes down so easily. It's not too bitter, it's not too sweet. It's way better than all this crap beer I've been having, so I'm big ups to it. It's right before the match, and what I've noticed is that there are more Korean fans here for ROK as opposed to there were for DPRK. Now, it is a Sunday and not a regular day of the week, so that could be factoring in to what is going on. But I also read in the article from Top News that people who wore unification shirts to the other matches were turned away, or they had to change their shirts. So it is looking like an era where if you are an overseas Korean fan, you may simply be cheering for the ROK and you will no longer be cheering for the DPRK. That is just seems to be the way it is now. But anyway, the match is about to start and we'll see you at halftime. So that was a crazy first half. The ROK scored a goal pretty early on, I'd say about the 10th minute. They clearly had a speed advantage and they kind of shocked the Australian home team. The Australian home team, they're playing in front of a lot of fans, so you know you can tell that they had a little bit of jitters. But at the end of the day, Australia dominated the ball. They had a very methodical attack, and they were willing to make very bold passes into the danger zone. And I think they got their first goal around the 25th minute. They got their second goal in extra time. So that basically put them up. And so if this result holds, 2-1 for Australia, Australia will be the winners of this group. Now, the winners of this group, the DPRK will not see no matter what. The second place in this group, the DPRK could see in the very next match if the DPRK loses their match to China. But if the DPRK wins their match with China, they will not see anybody from this group until at least the semifinal. So whoever ends up getting second place in this group is important, because if we, the DPRK, lose our match to China tomorrow, that would mean that we are playing the second place in this group. So it could be one of these two teams. Now, if the game is tied, that means the ROK has the better goal differential, so they will be the ones who win the group, and Australia will not. So it is going to be pins and needles. It is going to be nails bitten until the very end of this match. We don't know how it's going to turn out. It was a very lively crowd, a very entertaining game, and I look forward to seeing how everything turns out. Also, I'd like to add as an extra note, I am cheering for Australia to win, because if Australia does not meet the DPRK, that means the tickets will be cheaper and easier to get. Anyway, we will see you after the second half. That was absolutely bonkers. Early on, there was a handball in the penalty box from Australia that allowed ROK to get their first goal on a penalty, and then the momentum totally swung in the ROK's way. They dominated the ball, they got another goal, they went up 3-2. And it was so ho-hum after that, because it felt like ROK had the advantage until in the last 10 minutes, Australia put on like two of their best strikers. They were starting to really get aggressive, and there were a couple of amazing saves from the ROK goalie. But at the very final moment, there was an amazing goal that even after the goal, there was a yellow card awarded to another player, and everything tied up 3-3. But there wasn't much time after that, and because it's the group stage, this isn't a knockout stage, there's no extended time, there's no overtime. It looks like Australia, because their goal differential was worse than the ROK, it's going to be ROK's winning this group and Australia second. So if DPRK loses to China tomorrow, they will have to face an away game at Australia in the quarterfinal, which we want to avoid. So it is almost a must-win for the DPRK on Friday. Not a must-win, but really would be nice to win that one against China. Anyway, that's going to do it here for me. It's basically going to be heading back to the lodging. And by the way, this was the best attended AFC Women's Cup game ever, so I was proud to be here. Anyway, that's going to do it for me today. You will see more from me tomorrow as we cover the DPRK-China match. 안녕히 계십시오. 여기는 시드니입니다. It is Monday night and we are live here at Western Sydney Stadium, also known as CommBank Stadium, where we are going to see our DPR Korea women's national team take on the team of the Iron Roses from China. It is an exciting matchup because we don't know who is going to win Group B yet. If we win Group B, we will likely have an easier match against Chinese Taipei or Taiwan, or an outside chance of facing Vietnam. If we lose, then we have to face the hosts of Australia. If we tie, we are the automatic winner. So our goal today needs to be to tie and get experience for our very young squad. But it is raining outside and it is also very cold, and I am looking forward to getting inside the stadium if they ever open it up. So anyway, I'll see you again inside the stadium. I'm finally inside the cool, dry stadium. I immediately got myself a banh mi. We're about 90 minutes before kickoff, so I've got a little bit of time to eat. There are these nice places where you can stand and eat, which is really cool. And there's not a lot of traffic here yet. I really need this food because I barely eaten anything today. I was trying to clear out the refrigerator in my lodging before I head to Brisbane to see some friends in between the rounds during the rest period. I will review this. This was really expensive. I would say this was like maybe, I don't know, like 20 Australian dollars, 15 USD, something like that. So on the pricier side, but hey, for a semi-fresh banh mi, when you're really hungry, it'll do, right? That's super bland. I don't like that at all. Anyway, I'll finish this and head to the seat. So I've entered the stadium and it is thankfully dry. Whew. There's a awning right above us that kind of keeps most of the seats dry. I think the first row right in front of me, which I think was unavailable for purchase anyway because of the sight line, it is a little bit wet, but honestly, just little sprinkles. I want to be as close to the action, feel, you know, the weather with it. So anyway, there were some people who were trying to put up a banner on the other side of the stadium. It said, something 여러분 응원합니다. So it's like, we are cheering you on, but it also appeared and it said 천승 or something, like a total victory. But I think there was also some sort of advertisement for whatever group they were. I don't know what. They only unfurled about half of it when I saw them, and then as soon as I got footage, they were being told to like take it down. There were arguments with the officials. They were trying to put up a DPRK flag, but it was of no use, and so they all had to pack it in and take it away. But anyway, the rivalry between Korea and China has been a long one in women's football. In the 2000s, it was really about for Asian supremacy, who's going to be better, DPRK or China. In the 90s, China was a little bit better, but since the 2000s, it's really been the DPRK kind of rising above, and China's fallen down a bit. But the DPRK hasn't even been around for most of the 2010s, so in Asian football anyway. So it will be a definite test for China and DPRK to kind of rekindling an old rivalry, so to speak. And China was always the DPRK's main rivals in Asian football, just in terms of being the best. So it wasn't actually the ROK. So anyway, this matchup will be really telling. We'll see you right before the kickoff. There's DPRK fans, probably less than 100 usual suspects, people from the local Korean diaspora groups, as well as a couple people who just bought merch. So anyway, that's the situation right before kickoff, and we will see you at halftime. So that was absolutely insane. That was the most intense half of football I have seen yet at the AFC Women's Cup in 2026 here in Australia. The DPRK and China were so intense early on. They were constantly battling with each other. The DPRK almost got an early red card. There were a couple of near injuries, head-to-head collisions. Eventually things settled down, and the DPRK got a breakaway goal from Kim Yong, one of the top 10 athletes for the DPRK in the year 2025. And everything was looking great, but then China immediately responded with their own goal. And it was right back to neck and neck. And both teams right around the same number of possessions. I didn't get a chance to see the passes or shots on goal, but it felt very even. Both teams really looked like they had a shot to win it. At the very end, China scored a goal. And they had a video review, right? And so there was this video review going on, and it was like, okay, was it in, was it out? Video review said it was out. Then the DPRK team literally left the pitch. They totally left the pitch. They went to their bench area, and they continually argued that I think the ball went off somebody's hand. It was hard to see. They're not showing replays here in the stadium, but one of the forwards, the captain of the team, was pointing to her eyes, and she was saying it was the hand, I saw it, and the coach was consistently calling for another replay. Eventually, I've never seen anything like it. Maybe I've not watched enough football, but the coach got a yellow card, and eventually they just ended the half. I mean, there were a couple of minutes left to go, but they just decided to end the half, and both teams left the locker room. DPRK didn't come back in the game, and it reminds me of how there were fights when the DPRK went internationally. I think in the 70s or 80s. It's nothing new for DPRK history, but I think that they're going to come back out with a new sense of urgency, especially given that if they lose this game, it is basically an away match against Australia. So they are down 2-1. They're in an emergency mode, and there are plenty of Chinese fans. There's a lot of them in the upper deck, as you may be able to see. And there are maybe 100 DPRK fans. I saw a couple more, mostly Australians who came to cheer them on, but hey, the more the merrier. And as you can tell, it is raining hardcore. So, just like the television drama, our women's football team, they're going to have to train in the rain, they're going to have to fight in the rain, and it is going to be intense to the very end. We'll see you after the second half. So we leave Western Sydney Stadium in complete defeat. That was really sad. The second half, it really felt stagnated. I mean, we didn't get the same amount of attacks that we did the first half. And eventually the coach had to go to some really young players. We had Che, his son, who is a very young, experienced striker that I know, and there were a couple of more substitutions just to get that energy in there. But really, this was this team's first real competitive game and test. And it really could have gone either way, because we had a goal that was called offsides just barely. And if I was a big homer, I would say, hey, we were robbed. But you know what? Looking at the replay, it looks like the DPRK team's offsides was a legitimate offsides, whereas the Chinese offsides was really, it was really tight. It was hard to see if the Chinese goal in the first half was offsides, but ultimately, you know what? It shouldn't come down to an offsides call. If we were truly the better team, we would have won by more, but guess what? This is a young team. We're going to continue to develop, and oh boy, was that a fun match. I mean, just the fighting. The rain cleared up, it came on, it went away. And when it's constantly raining, you can get used to it, but it felt like it would just not stop starting and stopping. So our team, they really had to struggle through, oh, it's raining, oh, it's not, and there were so many fights. And not like punching out fights, but just fights for the ball, and lots of cards were thrown around, yellow cards, and it was really a great return to what is a historic rivalry in Asian women's football. And I really hope that we get another shot against China, but as things have turned out now, this is about as bad as it could have gone for us over yesterday and today, because now we have to play against Australia. And, we can beat Australia, but we're going to have to fly all the way out to Perth, and we're basically playing an away game, right? So we're going to have so many fans against us. I mean, there's probably going to be 100 DPRK fans in a stadium, something like 60,000. I mean, today was bad enough. They think there were about 9,000 Chinese fans. So it really was like an away game for us today. But still, the road ahead is hard. We may have advanced, but we are going to have a really strong run if we want to win this tournament. At this point, it's going to be game by game. If we can win the next one, we can win the next one. There's no gimmies. There's no forgiveness if we don't win. So we absolutely have to lock in. After the match, I got an interview. So I'm Deborah Kim, the doctoral student and part-time reporter who I met at the Joseon Bangladesh game today, was reporting for Minju Pyeongtaek, and she had a whole camera crew with her. And she was interviewing a lot of people who came as part of the overseas compatriots cheering section. They all had blue cheering sticks, and I believe that they were really using those to kind of get around the in-stadium regulations, saying that you couldn't have any unification flags or banners. So they were really using the blue just to kind of signify like a neutral Korea. And I really appreciate that, you know, because I feel like they really wanted to cheer on people that they view as their own nation. And I think that they should be able to do that. And they did it in subtle enough of a way to where I don't think that it would have gotten anybody in trouble. But it is worth noting that the team, right, when they walked off the field, they bowed to the, I mean, I was just alone on the side. They didn't acknowledge me. There was that center, the section of people in the center who was with the priest who had been to Pyongyang several times, right? And he had maybe about 10 people with him, as I saw. And they bowed to them, or just kind of the crowd in general, and then just left. Now again, this is an after and loss. So the team's energy is defeated, but they did not bow to the people with the blue sticks over there. So, you know, but you have to consider there were lots of party cadres watching this match, whereas I didn't see them the previous two matches. And I believe that they probably said something to the team like, don't acknowledge the people in the blue, which, you know, it's a sad reality. But at the end of the day, I think that everybody kind of got what they wanted, right? Nobody got hurt, nobody got in trouble, and I think that's kind of the most important thing. Complicated politics, lots of fans, intense game. It's been a hardcore day. Anyway, shout out to Deborah Kim for the interview. I think this is where we are going to end. I'd like to announce that Yongja Channel 2, or Yongja Channel, which you can find in the description, has officially launched. I have 2 vlogs up there from my trip, and I think that if you've gotten this far in this blog, then you may have some interest in my overall travels. So go ahead and head on over there if you have interest, and if not, we will see you back in Perth for the quarterfinals as DPRK Athletics vlogs in Australia roll on. And for the last time, 마지막으로 안녕히 계십시오. 여기는 파라마타입니다.